Hey everyone, Jason Cole here from rcgroups.com, and we're taking a quick look at a couple of new Eachine chargers. We've got the Eachine D800 and the Gemini 2100. So let's power these guys up and take a closer look at the feature set. Okay, so we'll start out with the Gemini 2100 here. Now this is a dual 2-channel charger, which I'm a real big fan of because you can charge different batteries at the same time. It can be even different chemistry types. It's really nice there. But this is a handy little, vertical box. It's got a pretty sweet little carry handle right here, so you can, easily take this with you and travel with it. It's pretty nice and compact for a charger. It is a unique shape from the typical chargers that you'll see. We do have a couple of cooling fans on the side. When you're charging at the max capacity there, those will kick in, and they're not too loud, but it will help keep things cool. On the very back here, we do have our AC power port as well as our DC, and it will take 11 to 18 volts. And that's somewhat of a negative for me because there's a lot of 24 volt power supplies that you may like to use for better efficiency. And this will only handle up to 18 volts, so keep that in mind. We also have 2 temperature sensors on the side here if you use those. Now on the front, we've got our banana plug jacks to hook up our, you can hook up a parallel board, or it does come with some XT60 and Dean's connector leads that you can use, as well as our balance port. You do get a couple of balance boards with this as well. But we've got a nice little screen here and the little buttons, and we can easily change between channels by clicking the channel button. So I'm looking on this side, you get a nice little LED telling me which port or channel I'm charging and looking at the menus for. We can change from LiPo to nickel metal hydride to NiCad to lead acid. Then you can save your data, so you can have pre-programmed battery types and settings. You can load that data. Here's where you can set the program. And then there also is a LiPo battery meter, so you can plug in your battery through the balance port, and it'll just give you a readout of individual cell voltages. So if you don't have a battery checker necessarily, you can use this to do that. And then once we decided what battery top we want to have, we can show LiPo charge, we can do LiPo balance charge, we can do fast charge, storage charge, which will bring down the pack to 50% charge, which is where you want to store all your batteries. We can discharge, and then we're back to the charge setting. So if we wanted to go ahead and charge a battery, we can adjust the amps here. And this is an 80 watts per channel, so we can go up to 7 amps, and the max amperage you can charge at is going to depend on how many cells you're trying to charge at one time. Let's say we wanted to do that, and we can click the start button, and then the battery cell count will flash. We can go all the way up to 6S, and even all the way down to 1 cell battery. And once we've got what we want, we can just press and hold the start button. I don't have a battery connected, so it's going to tell me there's a connection break. But that's all really user intuitive. I didn't even have to use the manual to figure all this out. It's just pretty natural and very similar to a lot of other chargers you may have used. So the only thing that I can really say about this, besides the input DC voltage not going up to 24 volts, would be the fact that it does not do high voltage LiPos. So if you have some Hyperion HV packs, you cannot charge up to 4.35 per cell. This is stock built at 4.2 volts per cell on the battery, so you can't do HVs on this guy. That's really the only thing, but this is a really inexpensive charger, so if you're looking for something that's really convenient, easy to carry, the Gemini 2100 would be a pretty good way to go. So now let's take a look at the D800. Alright, so this is the D800. Now you can see this is a much slimmer profile, kind of more of a traditional style to it. It's a plastic case. It is only a single channel. You have your balance ports here, your input ports here, or your output ports. We've got a couple of fans, a little one on the left and a little bit bigger one on the right. It's going to suck some air through there. We do have our DC input port here, and it is the same voltage as the Gemini. It's 11 to 18 volts. DC input, but we also have our AC power connector. AC/DC is really nice. It just gives you lots of options. We have our temperature sensor port here. Now the functionality is essentially the same. You've got a start-stop button. You've got your status buttons. What I really like about this one over the Gemini is the fact that we can do our traditional LiPo, nickel metal hydride, NiCad, lead acid, all those same chemistry types, but we can also do LiFe battery packs as well as HV high voltage packs. So this will allow you to charge up to, I think it only goes to 4.3 volts per cell, but it will just give you more of the newer chemistry types that's available. You just have to live with the fact that you only have a single charger port to work with. But it's really lightweight, very small, easy to use, simple interface, and very inexpensive. So if that fits what you're looking for, then the D800 would be a great way to go as well. And we appreciate you guys watching, and you can check out the full review of all the specs and details on rcgroups.com. We'll have the link down in the description, and we'll catch you guys later.